Greentown. It may not look like much now, but this was once the site of a bustling town, home of the Delaware Indians. Greentown was considered an Indian melting pot. Everyone was accepted here, including other tribes and non-natives alike. There were hundreds of people living in this peaceful town. And this was a very modern town, complete with metal tools, a long council house, cabins, and even a well. Children played, men hunted and built shelter, women cooked, farmed, and made clothes. The people prayed and gathered for ceremonies. Storytelling was a common occurrence, and the storytellers were greatly revered. The Delaware Indians lived peacefully here from 1783 to 1812. Then trouble started. John Chapman, better known as Johnny Appleseed, was friendly with the whites and Indians. Upon hearing news that the British were coming to attack with many natives on their side, he went around the white settlement and raised widespread panic. Even though only a rumor, the white settlers came to fear the Indians. Reverend Copus, a trusted friend of the natives, was called upon to persuade Chief Armstrong and his Delaware people to leave Greentown village. Though unwillingly, Chief Armstrong agreed. Reverend Copus assured him that the village would be safe and they could return when the panic settled down. As they were leaving, the Delaware took one last look at their village and through the trees saw smoke rising. A few of the straggling white militia had burned down the village in an act of vengeance. Though Reverend Copus was unaware of what would happen, the Delaware Indians felt betrayed by him. A few of them went back to the Reverend's house and killed him along with 3 soldiers. Greentown village would be no more. Now, the only indication it was ever there is a historical marker on the side of Route 39. There are plans for this to change, though. The Greentown Preservation Association has been formed for the purpose of preserving the historical integrity and conserving the archaeological and geological significance of the Delaware Indian village of Greentown. The strategic location of Greentown has kept it well preserved over the years. It is slightly elevated, so even though surrounded by swamp area and Black Fork River, the elevation has helped keep the site from being flooded, and the surrounding trees have helped protect it from the elements. The Greentown Preservation Association bought this land in 2005, and they have big plans. The ultimate goal is to have this be an educational site, but remain as untouched as possible. No excavation will be performed. There are plans to construct a museum out of authentic logs in place of the old council house. This museum will be home to the hundreds of artifacts that have been found, including numerous arrowheads predating the Delaware Indians of Greentown, metal tools, and even a stone grave marker. This museum will tell the history of this site. Part of the process for fundraising and raising awareness is an annual gathering. Every year on September 15th, the day the village was burned, a group gathers at Greentown. They share their time and traditional meals. There are games and there are stories. This past gathering was an extremely special one. It marked the 200th anniversary of the Delaware people being removed from their land. And it was the first time the modern Delaware tribe, now residing in Oklahoma, accepted the invitation. For the first time in 200 years, the Delaware Indians stepped foot on the land of their ancestors. Michael Pace, an official delegate of the Delaware, spoke on behalf of the tribe and presented a traditional drumming. The tribe felt honored to be on their land once again. The Greentown Preservation Association has an ambitious plan, but with time it will be finished. With the passion of the volunteers and the rich historical background of the site, this is a project that will not go uncompleted. Personally, my trip to Greentown was enlightening, and nothing could beat the feeling of seeing the look on my grandmother's face, knowing that this must have been the land where her ancestors walked. We finally know where we come from: Greentown.